Hello children, this is your science teacher Tilak Lepcha. Before we start our today's class, I would like you to note down that this video is divided into two parts, part 1 and part 2, which refers to our previous online classes, and the topics covered are divided accordingly so that you don't have any confusion in completing your work, and you can complete your work slowly but surely. Okay, and if you have any doubt regarding understanding this chapter, you can always WhatsApp me, or you can write in the comment box, or we can also discuss in our next WebEx class. So let us continue with our chapter. So children, today's topic of the class is chapter 10, Animals and their movement. So children, have you ever wondered how living organisms are different from non-living? Because they show movement and locomotion, right? Do you know what is the difference between movement and locomotion? Let us find out. If you will start your chapter, you will see that a monkey lumbers, a cat flies, the bear prowls, bird climbs, and butterfly flits. Isn't it totally different terms used here? So we still need to know what are different movements are termed as. So how we say an organism is moving. Movement occurs when the whole organism is not moving, but only their body parts, or the part is moving with respect to their body without changing its position. Then what is when whole organism is moving or changing its place with respect to their previous position? Well, this is what we call locomotion. So locomotion occurs when organism's whole body changes its position with respect to its previous location. Yes, see this lady holding the weight. Is it locomotion or movement? Yes, it's movement, not locomotion. So why do plants and animals show movement or locomotion in response to the changes in the environment? Anybody knows the answer? Think about it. Yes, we will just find out how and why. It is important and significant. Now think about this lady. Will she be doing movement or locomotion? Okay, let us see. Plants and animals show locomotion or movement because they need to protect themselves from adverse weather condition or from their enemies or any other kind of dangers such as natural calamities, etc. To get food, light, or something which is useful or beneficial to them, and of course to find a suitable shelter, habitat, and take care of their young ones and protect them, and take care of them so that they grow up. So let us start with part 1, movement and locomotion in some animals. And these animals are the common one which we see around in our surrounding. So the first animal which we are going to discuss here is the earthworm. The body of earthworm is made up of many rings which are joined together. These rings help the earthworm to fix to the ground or make a grip to the ground. In addition to this, there are setae, which are the locomotory organ of this organism. These are projections under the body of these animal which help in making a good grip to the ground. So the muscular body along the rings contracts and relax. Now see in this picture, there are so many segments which appears like ring. Yes, the movement occurs when squeezing and stretching of the muscles takes place along the length of their body. Now the picture explains how it happens, and the body of the earthworm is moved from one place to another. Now here is one question. Why earthworms are called farmer's friend? One hint I am going to give you, because they help in increasing the fertility. How? Okay, our next organism is snail. The snail is long, moist, slimy body, and it is covered and protected by hard shell. The body is although soft, moist and slimy, but it is well adapted for motion because it has soft band of muscles under its body, which is known as foot, which contracts and expands and creates rippling movement, which helps the snail to move forward. This special organ foot produces slimy mucus, which makes its track, means walking track, slippery, or creeping track slippery, and also helps them to move over very sharp and hard object without injuring its soft body. This protective slimy mucus hardens and makes the protective pathway for this small, delicate, tender organism. See? Now you can see in this picture the tentacles, right? The shell and the foot of the snail. I hope it is clear to you how this small creature moves. Oh, this is cockroach, very common one. Yes, nobody likes the sight of this organism, isn't it? Because it is found in dark and dirty places. Yes, it is common household pest, and it is very much adapted towards the movement and locomotion. How? Because it has antenna to sense light and slight movement near them, and they quickly move away. Even their body is provided with some sensors which increase their sensitivity towards the touch. And now they have well developed eyes. Each eyes are having 200 lenses, and they can see in all directions. They can see more than one object at a time. See how amazing it is? And if something moves nearby them, they respond and they run and hide immediately, and they get inside the crack or any small dark corner by flattening their body. Their body is also very soft, but it is protected by hard shell or cover. They have a pair of legs which help them to walk, run and climb. How they climb? They climb because their legs have some kind of claws, and they help in the movement in climbing up. They have very distinct muscles nearby the legs which pull and help the legs in walking. Even there are some small hair-like structures you might have seen in the diagram. Yes, they also increase the sensitivity of touch. Now you might have heard about cockroaches can live without head for many days, but it is half true. You can see this is the nervous system. Okay, nervous system is intact, but when it does not get food to eat, when mouth is not there, so it will die in 7 to 10 days, right? Now you can guess we are going to talk about which creature now. Yes, it is a fish, very much known to you. You have already studied about this various other classes and chapters also. You can see there are so many fins over here, different types of fins. Okay, now we will study how these organisms move or locomote. As you can see, they have streamlined body which offers minimum resistance to move in water into forward direction. They can stop, brake, or balance with the help of different types of fins. And with the help of tail fin, they can change the directions. Yes, their the scales are helping them in sideways bending and also overlap with one another for free and pointing backward. Okay, now you can see the movement of a fish in the diagram. This is the fish which is found deep down in the ocean. Yes, very dangerous one. You can guess the name. What is it? Okay. Now next topic is our wonderful birds. Why wonderful? Because they can fly up high in the sky. Children, as you know, birds are adapted to fly in the sky or walk on the ground. So most of the birds fly in the sky with the help of wings, right? And some are swimming in water and some are comfortable on the ground, running, hopping, right? So what features help them to do so? Okay, they have boat-shaped or streamlined body which gives resistance to the air, same as in fishes, right? And their bones are hollow and filled with air. The forelimbs are modified as wings. Yes, and the feathers covering these wings help the suitable structure for flying in the air. The very important is the modified breast bones and the special or strong muscles are helping them to move up and down these wings. So the birds are able to fly high up in the sky with the help of these special features. But some birds which live in water, they have webbed feet which help them to swim, right? But some birds have different types of flight movements because their structures of wings are different. If you will observe carefully, you will see that they have different patterns of flight or movements of wings in the air, right? So they all are differently flying in the air. Okay, now what is this? Okay, this is a snake. Can you see the small scales on this green snake? Maybe you know that these kind of snakes are adapted to live in the trees. Yes, they camouflage. So the snakes have long slender body covered with scales, and they also have long backbone which are supported by thin muscles, and they show slow creeping straight movements, right? And sometimes they show the side winding very fast movement. Yes, so how do they do this? Usually the snake does not move in a straight line. It slithers. The snakes use some of its scales on its belly to make a grip on the ground and push forward with the other scales. So a wavy movement is caused. It cannot move on the smooth surface. The snake braces the back portion of its body while it pushes the front portion, and it extends the front portions forward, and in a way it throws itself forward by the contraction and expansion of its body muscles. So these creepy and we think all the snakes are dangerous and poisonous? So they all are not dangerous, right? So we should not be afraid. They have their important place in this ecosystem. See, this diagrams wonderfully describes the different types of movements and locomotion in snake. So that's it for part 1. Now next we will begin part 2, in which we will study about human body and its different types of movements. So can you guess what are the different structures involved in movements and locomotion? Yes, there are different activities that you can see in here in the picture. Oh, what is this? This is the skeletal system, right? It has main role in the movement, but these are supported by various other features. So what is the skeletal system? The framework of 206 bones in fully developed adult, which includes backbone or vertebral column, skull, rib cage, bones of limbs and girdles, right? These all make the skeletal system. And this picture shows the different types of joints which helps in the movement, and you can see the different locations. And this is the human skeleton. So you now see that how the 206 bones are arranged and fixed by different types of joints in these pictures, right? You can see the rib cage, skull, right? Limbs, yes, highlighted. So what is the function of skeleton? Yes, it gives shape to the body. You know, earthworm, it does not have any bones or skeletal system. So it helps in the movement and locomotion. It also protects the delicate parts under it, or protects or cover it, like heart, brain, lungs, eyes, stomach, right? They are soft and delicate body parts which are protected and safe inside the skeletal system in different types of bony structures. So let's study about them. Skull, right? It is made up of flat bones joined together in a very close connection, and it includes the bones of head, face and the jaws. Except the lower jaw, all the bones are fixed in skull. It gives shape to our body and diverse identity to each and every individual on this earth. It does not only allow us to chew food but help us to talk also. Now, let us talk about another special feature which helps in the movement. Can you identify the structure? Yes, it's our backbone. We call it spine also. Another name is vertebral column. It is made up of various small bones known as vertebrae. They are 33 in number. The vertebral column is made up of these small bones linked together to form a long bony backbone. The backbone covers the spinal cord and also protects the nerves and blood vessels that run down from the brain. It is very delicate structure which has to be protected by the strong bony structure of backbone. Let us now study about rib cage. It is made up of curved bones termed as ribs. There are 12 pairs of ribs which join to the backbone at the back and to the breastbone or sternum at the front. The last 2 pairs of ribs are called floating ribs because they are joined to the backbone at the back but not joined to the sternum in the front. So the function of the rib cage is to cover and protect the heart and the lungs. Now let us study what are limbs. We have 2 pairs of limbs which we call as legs and arms. So the bones of forelimbs are of upper arms and lower arms and the fingers. It helps in the picking, grabbing or carrying things. As you can see in the figure here, nearby the skull there are two forelimbs or arms, which includes three types of bones. Now let us talk about hind limbs, which includes upper legs bone, lower legs and the toe bones. Now you know it helps in walking, running, jumping and various other activities. As you can see, these are the bony structures of human hind limbs. Yes. Now, the bones are attached to the muscles with the help of strong thread-like structures called tendons. So, the movement of bones is possible due to the contraction and relaxation of these attached muscles. You can see our body is the framework of bone as well as muscles attached to it, which we will be studying in later sections of this video. Now, can you define skeletal system? Now you can say skeletal system is the framework of 206 bone, that is backbone, skull, rib cage, bones of limbs and girdles together joined to form a framework of bones or skeleton. Now let us find out how these bones are joined together and how it functions or move or cause locomotion. The meeting points of two bones are called joints such as knee, elbow, neck, etc. We notice that most of the movements can be done easily, such as bending, stretching of our various body parts. While it is easy to move a few parts of the body, and some parts of the body does not move at all. Why does this happen? So, time to study about different types of joints. The different types of joints in human body can be categorized in three different types: immovable joints, slightly movable joints and freely movable joints. As the term says, immovable joints, there is no movement possible because the bones are fixed. For example, the joints of skull. All the bones, all the flat bones are fixed and they cannot be moved. The function is to protect soft, delicate and tender brain inside it and other structures such as eyes, etc. So, the skull bones are fixed or immovable. Now, the slightly movable joints. These joints allow restricted movements due to the presence of softer tissues called cartilage. These type of bones can allow up and down or in and out movement, such as in case of vertebral column. Another example of such joint can be found in ribs. When we breathe in and out, the rib cage moves up and down and in and out. So these kind of movements are called restricted movement or slightly movable joints are present here. Freely movable joints allow free movement due to the presence of some lubricating liquid between them. For example, hip bone joint allows variety of movement. When we lie down on the floor, lift one leg and rotate our leg from the hip, the circular movement or free movement is possible. Now this picture shows various types of movement that is allowed at the joints and we can classify them accordingly. The movements in the joints of our bodies are similar to that of those we see in many things around us. So we have done the naming accordingly, such as ball and socket joint, pivot joint, hinge joint, and gliding joint. Ball and socket joint, the rotating movement of the bones similar to that of pestle in the mortar, which is possible in all direction, is called as ball and socket joint. For example, the round head or ball of the arm bone can rotate freely in the cup-shaped space or socket of the shoulder bone. Same movement is found in the hip joint. It allows the movement in all directions. So it is called ball and socket joint. Now the pivot joint. The movement of ring-like bone rotating in an incomplete circuit or circle over a peg like cylindrical bone is called pivot joint. As you can see in the structure of backbone, here we can see the joint between the first and the second bones of our backbone in the neck is joining the hole in our skull is a pivot joint. It allows us to turn our head to the right or to left. Now the joint which allows to and fro movement similar to that of hinge of the doors are called hinge joint. For example, joints at the knee and the elbow. Now the gliding joint, the joint which allows gliding movement or the movement in which bones can slide against each other is called gliding joint. For example, bones of wrist and ankle can slide against each other, showing gliding joint. As you can see in the figure, the cartilage in between two bones, it allows slightly movable joints. The cartilage is a special type of tissue which is little softer and flexible than the bone. It protects the ends of the bone by providing them soft cushioning, otherwise they will rub together and damage each other. The cartilage also makes some part flexible while giving them support from inside. Examples are nose and ear. Slight flexibility of joints between the ribs and the vertebral column and the flat breastbone can also be explained by the presence of cartilage. Have you ever noticed when you fold your arm, some part of it becomes stiff and swollen and it becomes soft again when you straighten your arm? Yes, this is muscle. The muscle bulge and becomes smaller in length due to contraction. When the arm is brought back to its normal position, the swelling disappears as the muscle relaxes. So, a pair of muscles are always attached to the bones by tendons. The bones are moved in different ways due to the contraction and relaxation of a pair of muscles. A muscle can pull only, they cannot push. As you can see, the hand movement is possible by the contraction and relaxation of pair of muscles. Here, one muscle is contracting and another one is relaxing. And again, alternatively, this movement takes place and the hand moves in forward and backward direction. So, when one muscle contracts, it becomes shorter, so the bone is pulled, and the other muscle relaxes or expands. Again, to move the bone in original position or in opposite direction, the relaxed muscles will contract and pull the bone while the first one relaxes. The movement of legs can also be explained in terms of contraction and relaxation of thigh muscles, as you can see in the figure. Now children, there is a question for you. Can you differentiate the human bone from that of birds? Explore few points of difference on your own and please write in the chat box. See, this is the bone structure. Now you have to guess, what is this? And how is it useful to a doctor in treatment of a patient? You can find out from your own textbook, or you can explore in the internet and find out the answer and write down in the chat box. So children, science is not just subject, okay? It's a practical reality, and it has always day-to-day life application. So children, I hope that you will stay knowledgeable